This is Dan Dix here reporting for Press for Truth, and today I want to talk about why Facebook sucks and, more importantly, what you can do about it. Now, this here is my Facebook page, Press for Truth. I started it a while back, and about a year and a half ago, it exploded, and it went from around 30,000 likes to over 390,000 in just a matter of months. It was just skyrocketing, but then something happened. Facebook did a purge of fake profiles and robot accounts, and overnight I went from 390,000 down to what you see now, 364,000. And that's fine, you gotta clean up your website, I get that. But here's the problem. That was well over a year ago, and my likes have stayed exactly the same the whole time. No less and no more. I haven't gotten any new likes in over 18 months, despite the fact that we post every day with hundreds of shares, sometimes thousands, and I've been locked in at that same number for over a year now. But here's the thing. It's around that same time that I started seeing these pop up. Boost your page for $13. They expect me to pay to get more likes. I generate the content. I create things and contribute them to society. The market responds and my page explodes. And these guys decide to throw on the brakes and shadow ban me, as it's called. All in an attempt to just make more cash off of my work and my efforts. Well, folks, their greed and lust for power through wealth is leading to their undoing. And that's because the blockchain, ladies and gentlemen, has revolutionized the internet. Now, whether you like it or dislike it or don't understand it or just have a passing interest in it, there's no doubting the explosion of cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. But the technology behind the popular internet currency, the blockchain, is what makes cryptocurrencies unique and superior to fiat currency. And this blockchain can be used for other purposes than Bitcoin. Now, although gold and silver advocates will point to the historic reasons for using precious metals as money, and obviously there are very good reasons, in addition to the fact that if the lights go out, if the internet goes dark, so to speak, all the bitcoins become worthless. But putting aside all those valid points for a second, when given the option between US created dollars through the Federal Reserve and a cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, I'd put my money into Bitcoin, no pun intended. But there is a new cryptocurrency on the block. Again, no pun intended. Steemit is an open source, community-based website that pays you for interacting with it. So by voting or liking posts and posting original content, basically doing everything that you are already doing on sites like Facebook or Reddit, where they make all of the money through ad revenues based on content that you are uploading, well, here at Steemit, you can earn the money. So instead of advertising revenues going into the hands of corporate shareholders, content creators get what's called Steam, Steam Power, and Steam Dollars. My first post here earned me a little over 1,300 Steam Dollars, which you see it shows up here. And you get half of that here in what's called Steam Dollars, which is a cryptocurrency that can literally be just traded on the market. I tested it out and I transferred $100 worth, and sure enough, it went through to my account. It works out to roughly 118 Canadian dollars. So overall, this translates to around $800 or $900 in actual cash that I've made from this one post. And you don't have to trade your Steemit revenue for dollars into a bank account. If you prefer, you can trade it for bitcoins or for gold or silver or whatever you want. As well, people who curate the best content by upvoting others can also make money. But how does this all work? I'm sure there's a lot of people out there asking, how is this not a scam? I mean, it sounds like a free lunch. It's got to be too good to be true. Well, like Bitcoin, Steemit currency is being traded on a free and open market. But unlike Bitcoins, which are created by people who run software programs that mine the currency units, Steemit currency is created by the network and it's distributed by people who use the website. So the more you engage by voting and posting content, the more you get. People who create content get paid, and people who uproot content are also paid. But how is this done? I mean, people are still going to ask the question, isn't this just funny money? I mean, where does it all come from? Well, basically, Steem dollars are just digital assets similar to company shares. Zeros and ones arranged in a certain crypto way don't actually have any value, but it's because these units are scarce and the whole system was designed to be used as money. Well, people have adopted their use as such. Money is just a medium of exchange. Gold and silver were chosen throughout the centuries of trial and error, but there's nothing intrinsic about the metals themselves other than their scarcity and other properties that make them a good medium. Well, Steemit works the same way. If no one used the website, Steem dollars just wouldn't mean anything. Think of it like old baseball cards. They aren't technically money, but they're hard to counterfeit, and they do hold a lot of value for people. So naturally, they can be used in trading. Owning old collectible baseball cards is very similar to owning a couple of ounces of gold or silver. Albeit gold and silver are probably more universally recognizable than, say, a 1933 Babe Ruth card. Video games as well, such as World of Warcraft, have also created entire virtual economies with digital currency. So long as people exchange goods and services, there's going to be a medium to fill the void since there are limitations to barter. And if a digital currency has value for people, then it can be traded for real goods and real services in the real world. Now, Steemit money may or may not make it, but based on the white paper here, this sounds like a game changer. As Ned Scott, the CEO and co-founder of Steemit, told International Business Times, if you think about the existing models, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, these are platforms that invite people to come and do all of this work so that their shareholders, who are not necessarily contributors, make all the money. And he goes on to say here, we had this idea that the blockchain could pay them to post, kind of like the way that mining works for Bitcoin, and pay them to vote so that there's this wisdom of the crowd element. Before long, we were saying this is going to look a lot like Reddit, except people are going to get paid to post and vote. So it's a beautiful thing, but of course, it's not all just easygoing and free market. There are already some problems with large influencers, people who hold a lot of Steemit power, who can downvote content, which ends up costing content creators thousands of dollars, just as my friend Jeff Berwick has pointed out. And my post was actually up over $1,700 at one point, and then it got some downvotes, and it closed out at just a little over $1,300. So these Steem whales have the ability to censor content, but this is just a minor hiccup in an open source technology that does have the power to undermine the very real censorship of sites like Facebook and YouTube, where I'm being shadow banned. So I hope you'll join me here on Steemit and follow me. If I produce good content here, then I'll get paid, which means I can continue to produce even better content moving forward. It's exciting times, folks. It's a good time to get involved. You should join the movement. I hope to see you guys there. And stay tuned for more video reports coming soon. This is Dan Dix reporting for Press for Truth. The problem in Canada is that not enough people are really aware that this is even an issue in the first place. So I think in our case, awareness is absolutely key. I put out a video about this back in 2011, ranting, raving, and screaming to people, we got to do something about this. And I didn't get very much of a response about that at all. Now that it's more prominent and it's in the news and it's in the mainstream, people are starting to pay a little bit more attention.